Hi, I'm Will Clark of the San Francisco Giants, and you're watching Bay Area Sports Wrap.
Go ahead.
Bob, Tyra had been a little slow to get going. What did you think of the at-bat there and the fact that he was able to come through in a big situation?
Yeah, he picked the right time to get going. So a little bit aggressive here recently. You know, when you don't get off to a good start, sometimes you should try to do a little too much. He can cover a lot of the plate, but hasn't been swinging at good pitches. Got a good pitch to hit there and drove it. So, you know, I just staying with the at-bat and thinking good things, and, you know, you always have a good feeling when he's up at the plate.
Bob, pregame, you talked about putting on a show. What kind of show did you guys put on for the fans today here on opening day?
Well, thank God we won, because we did a couple things, you know, earlier in the game that basically swung the game to their side. And we have to be really good about the intangible stuff. We've talked about that. Situational at-bats, fielding our position, not running into outs, you know, stuff like that. And we weren't great at it early, but, you know, got a couple of scratch runs late and certainly big hit in the ninth.
Did you ever envision what today would look like for you, and then could you have imagined it ending it like it did?
Sure. I mean, I was hoping we won, obviously. Didn't expect the thing on the scoreboard earlier, but it ends up being a great day. I'll think about it a little later, still kind of in the moment.
Conforto's kind of managed to stay hot here at the plate,
Yeah.
but he's also had a couple little mishaps on the bases. How would you sort of describe his base running so far?
You know, just trying to do a little too much there. It's opening day. You know, you ran hard to third, takes a big turn, thinks he has a chance, and then you get kind of caught in no man's land. So I think just some exuberance on opening day and just trying to do a little too much.
Bob, can you talk about what you felt about what you saw on the scoreboard before the game?
Yeah, I didn't. For me, it was a little much. I appreciate it, but that's not something I want to see. It went on a little too long for me.
Bob, could you talk about here?
Yes.
Hello. Could you talk about Jordan Hicks' for performance, career high, 7 innings?
Yeah, that was huge. You know, I know we had an off day yesterday, but our bullpen's been beat up a little bit, and to be able to go 7, you know, after the Profar double, it's a bit of a tough decision one way or another. But look, he really wanted to go out there. His pitch count was under control. Same thing as last game. Pushed it up a notch, and really probably threw as well later in the outing and as hard later in the outing as he did earlier in the game. So I felt like he deserved it. It was a great outing.
Just on top of that, it's the second time Hicks faced Padres.
Right.
What do you think about how he adjusted start to start?
Look, you know what? The decision last time was let him go out for another inning. But I think where he was, you know, it was his first start, just starting again. You know, we cut him a little bit short, but allowed him to pitch a little deeper in the game today. So, you know, when you face the same guys a lot, you know, you have to do some things differently, which he did, and really tuned it up. You saw some 98s, 99s later in the game where you were seeing some, you know, 92s and 93s earlier.
Bob, what makes you believe in Hicks, a guy who was never a starter until now, and he threw the 80 pitches and you let him go one more? I know about the bullpen and all that, but this guy was not doing this a year ago.
Look, it's really, he was incentivized to do, this is really what he wanted to do. So I think that probably gave us a leg up in signing him, is we're going to allow him to start. And the way he went about it and was honest with me, you know, his first start that he got a little bit tired, and we took him out. And when he came out after the 6th, he said, "I feel great, as good as I felt." So let him go back out.
Did you have a conversation with him before that final inning?
Before the 7th, yeah.
What was that like?
It was easy. He says, "I feel great." You know, and the part of the order was coming up. I just felt like he still had a lot left, and like I said, it looked like he was throwing harder later on in the game.
Duvall hadn't pitched much this season.
Yeah.
Did he speed up his warm-up there? Looked like that he really went through that really fast. And did he have to? Have you talked to him about doing that?
We have. And before, you know, earlier it was the pitch com, right? So it wasn't in Spanish. There were a lot of things that were hurdles for him that it made it look like, you know, kind of indifference on his end, but it wasn't. He was frustrated by the by the pitch comm before. Couldn't hear, wasn't, the pitches weren't exact in what he throws. There were a lot of reasons to be frustrated. We got it ironed out. You saw him got in the game quick, and he threw some warm-up pitches, which, well, for him, I mean, it takes him a little while to get out there. He's got a certain pace to himself, but he throws enough down there where he doesn't need, I think it was 4, but where he doesn't need a whole lot.
It's obviously a pretty exciting way to end the game. The ball is hitting the gap. Chappie's running. What did you kind of see the energy and then just the call to bring him on in?
Yeah, I was just hoping it stayed, didn't bounce over the fence. So if it stayed in, he was going to score, and Matt Williams was going to send him pretty much regardless, I think, at that point in time.
Bob, in retrospect, looking back at the day, the game, was there any reminiscing and say, hey, man, I played on this team. I came out the Candlestick. I'm in a Giants uniform. It's the home opener. This is pretty cool. Any of that?
For like an inning.
Which inning?
The first. And then as the game goes along, you get locked into the game. Mm-hmm. Maybe later.
What were those feelings in the first inning?
Yeah, well, just the nerves of opening day and being here again and being in this uniform and packed house here. It's a pretty cool feeling.
Scrimsey's now, I think, 0 for 11, 7 strikeouts. I know he's been in and out, but
yeah.
Does he got to back off a little pressure he's putting on himself? Or where do you see him?
You know what? It's more dramatic when you struggle early in the season. And, he was gone for a little bit. So sometimes you need to find your sea legs some. He'll hit. I'm not worried about him. Same thing with Tyro, right? So, struggling a little bit early in the season, and it just looks bad because it's early in the season, and there are a lot of eyes on it right now. But similar to Tyro, he'll get going.
Bob, I know you didn't want to see yourself on the scoreboard, but some other people, like for instance, when they showed Roger Craig, did you have any memories that went through your mind?
That was a great tribute there. And Vida, a lot of guys that I knew. So, that was a great tribute. It really was.
Jordan worked himself in and out of trouble a few different times. Is that a situation where guys with that kind of velocity in their back pocket might just rear back and throw heat? How impressed were you with his composure?
Right, and that's what he did. He tuned it up what he have to. But at the end of the day, we make an error on a double play ball, and that's really the only jam. He gave up 5 hits and didn't walk anybody. So that was part of the decision to let him go was.
I'm Tim Roy, the voice of the Golden State Warriors for Bay Area Sports Wrap. Please give a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.